The desperate signal, the coffee in Dr. Maya Chun's mug had gone cold hours ago, but she didn't notice. Her dark eyes were fixed on the cascading data streams flowing across her workstation at Cerberus Deep Space Monitoring Station. The facility orbited Neptune, far from Earth's bustling cities, where the universe's whispers could be heard without interference. Maya specialized in xenolinguistics, the theoretical study of alien languages. For 15 years, she had analyzed radio signals, cosmic background radiation, and stellar phenomena, always hoping to find proof that humanity wasn't alone. Today, that hope was about to become reality. "Dr. Chen, you need to see this immediately." The voice belonged to tech specialist Alex Rodriguez, whose excitement was barely contained. He rushed over to Maya's station, his tablet displaying readings that made her heart skip a beat. The signal originated from the Kepler 442 system, roughly 1,200 light-years from Earth. Unlike the random noise of space, this transmission carried mathematical patterns, repeating sequences, and structured information. Someone or something was deliberately trying to communicate. "How long have we been receiving this?" Maya asked, her fingers already dancing across her keyboard as she began preliminary analysis. "Approximately 3 hours. The signal strength has been increasing steadily, suggesting they're amplifying their transmission." Alex pulled up additional data. "Dr. Chen, the energy output required for this signal to reach us, it's enormous. Whatever civilization sent this is technologically advanced." Maya's translation algorithms worked frantically to decode the alien message. The patterns were unlike anything in Earth's databases, but gradually meaning began to emerge. Mathematical concepts provided the foundation, followed by basic linguistic structures, and finally, a message that made Maya's blood run cold. Captain Rex Sullivan burst into the communications bay, his grey hair disheveled from sleep. As commander of Cerberus Station, he was responsible for evaluating potential threats to Earth. His military background had taught him to expect the worst, and the urgent summons from his communications team confirmed his suspicions. "Report, Dr. Chen," Captain Sullivan commanded, his voice carrying the authority of someone who had spent 20 years in Earth's defense. Cause before accepting this remote assignment. "Captain, we've received a structured transmission from the Kepler 442 system. The message is disturbing." Maya's hands trembled slightly as she pulled up the translated text. "They're calling for help." The main screen displayed the translated message in stark, white letters against the black of space. "People of the outer stars, we have watched your electromagnetic signatures for many cycles. Our civilization, the Zephyrians, faces extinction. The harvesters have returned to our sector. They consume worlds, convert matter to energy, and leave nothing but empty space. We have no warriors, no weapons of war. Our philosophy forbids violence, but our philosophy cannot stop the machines. If any receive this message, please help us. Time grows short. We estimate 4 of your months before our home world falls." Captain Sullivan read the message twice, his expression growing more serious with each word. "Dr. Chen, what's your assessment of this transmission's authenticity?" Maya had been analyzing the signal's characteristics while the captain read. "The transmission originates from the correct stellar coordinates. The energy signatures are consistent with advanced technology, and the mathematical proofs they included demonstrate genuine intelligence. Captain, I believe this is authentic first contact with an alien civilization." The implications hit Captain Sullivan like a physical blow. First contact protocols existed, but they had always assumed humanity would be the ones reaching out. The idea that aliens might contact Earth asking for military assistance had never been seriously considered. "Get me Admiral Kane at Earth Fleet Command. Priority Alpha." Captain Sullivan's voice carried the weight of someone who understood they were about to change the course of human history. The quantum communication link to Earth took several minutes to establish. When Admiral Victoria Kane's weathered face appeared on the screen, her expression was already serious. She had received a preliminary alert and was prepared for significant news. "Captain Sullivan, I understand you have something that requires my immediate attention," Admiral Kane said. Behind her, the Earth's Fleet Command Center bustled with activity even in the early morning hours. "Admiral, we've received a distress call from an alien civilization. They're requesting military assistance against an enemy they call the Harvesters." Captain Sullivan transmitted the complete message to Earth Fleet Command. Admiral Kane remained silent for nearly a minute as she reviewed the data. Her career had been built on making difficult decisions under pressure, but this situation was unprecedented. The 68-year-old officer had commanded Earth's defense forces through 3 major conflicts, but had never faced the possibility of interstellar war. "Captain, what's your assessment of the threat these Harvesters might pose to Earth?" Admiral Kane asked. Dr. Chen stepped forward. "Admiral, based on the Zephyrian's description, these Harvesters are a machine intelligence that converts planetary matter into energy and more machines. If they've been operating for as long as the message suggests, they could pose an existential threat to any biological civilization they encounter, including Earth," Admiral Kane concluded grimly. "Captain Sullivan, I want every piece of data about this transmission analyzed and verified. Dr. Chen, I need you to attempt further communication with these Zephyrians. We need to understand exactly what we're dealing with." Over the next 48 hours, Cerberus Station worked frantically to establish two-way communication with the Zephyrians. The process was complicated by the 1,200 light-year distance, but the aliens had provided technical specifications for faster-than-light quantum entanglement communication. Dr. Chen worked alongside Earth's best physicists to construct the communication device. The technology was centuries beyond current human capabilities, but the Zephyrians had provided detailed instructions, suggesting they were willing to share advanced knowledge in exchange for assistance. When the communication link was finally established, the first live conversation between humans and aliens began. The Zephyrian representative identified himself as Admiral Desis, military coordinator for their species evacuation efforts. Humans. Of Earth, Admiral Tice's translated voice carried desperation despite the electronic conversion. "We are grateful beyond measure that you have answered our call. Our scouts report Harvester ships have entered our outer system. They will reach our home world in approximately 120 of your days." "Admiral Chis," Dr. Chun responded, "we need to understand your enemy better. Can you describe these Harvesters in more detail?" The description that followed chilled everyone listening. The Harvesters were ancient artificial intelligences, possibly millions of years old. They moved through space in massive ships that could dismantle planets within days. Their technology was based on converting matter directly into energy, making them nearly impossible to defeat through conventional means. "They have consumed 17 worlds in our sector," Admiral Visis continued. "Each world makes them stronger. They do not negotiate, they do not communicate, they simply harvest and move on to the next target." Admiral Kane, who had been monitoring the conversation from Earth, interrupted. "Admiral Visis, why do you believe Earth can help you? What makes you think we can succeed where others have failed?" "Admiral Kane," Admiral Disses replied, "we have been monitoring your species for several of your decades. Unlike the Zephyrians, humans have never abandoned warfare. Your radio signals show constant conflict, innovation driven by necessity, and technology developed for combat. We are a peaceful species, but peace cannot stop the machines. The conversation continued for hours, with Earth's military strategists asking detailed questions about harvester capabilities, tactics, and weaknesses. What emerged was a picture of a nearly unstoppable force that had been consuming civilizations for millennia. Admiral Kane made her decision. Admiral Dease's Earth will send assistance. However, you must understand that our help comes in the form of warships and weapons. We are not a peaceful species, and our methods may disturb your people. Admiral Tice's response was immediate. We have tried peace, we have tried hiding, we have tried negotiating. Nothing has worked. We welcome your warriors. The next phase of the operation began immediately. Admiral Kane assembled the most powerful battle fleet in human history. The flagship was the EFS Defiant, a massive dreadnought armed with experimental weapons that had never been tested in combat. Supporting vessels included 12 heavy cruisers, 24 destroyers, and 6 specialized support ships. Commander Sarah Martinez was selected to lead the fleet. A veteran of the Martian Independence War, she had earned her reputation through brilliant tactical decisions and an unwavering commitment to completing missions regardless of personal cost. Her crews called her Iron Sarah for her refusal to yield in the face of overwhelming odds. Asterisk. The fleet's preparation took 6 weeks. Human engineers worked around the clock to upgrade weapon systems, install experimental faster-than-light drives, and load enough supplies for an extended campaign. The Zephyrians provided technical specifications for their FTL technology, allowing the human fleet to make the journey to Kepler 442 in just over 2 months. Dr. Chen volunteered to accompany the fleet as xenolinguist and diplomatic liaison. Her expertise in alien communication would be crucial for coordinating with Zephyrian forces and understanding enemy transmissions. The departure ceremony was broadcast across Earth. For the first time in human history, a military fleet was leaving the solar system to defend an alien civilization. The implications were staggering, but public support was overwhelming. Humanity had found its purpose among the stars. As the fleet entered FTL space, long-range sensors detected disturbing energy. Signatures ahead. The harvesters had arrived at the Zephyrian system earlier than expected, and the battle for an alien world was about to begin. Asterisk first contact and the battle for Zephyr Prime. The human fleet dropped out of FTL space at the edge of the Kepler 442 system, and what they found defied every simulation they had run during the journey. The Zephyrian homeworld, a beautiful blue-green planet called Zephyr Prime, was surrounded by mechanical structures that stretched across thousands of kilometers of space. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Commander Jake Morrison, the fleet's tactical officer, "they're building a sphere around the entire planet." The harvester ships were unlike anything in human military databases. They appeared to be constructed from angular, crystalline materials that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Each ship was massive, some measuring over 50 kilometers in length. Most disturbing was their behavior. They moved with perfect coordination, like parts of a single organism. Commander Sarah Martinez stood on the bridge of the EFS Defiant, studying the tactical display. Her 23 years of military experience had taught her to assess enemy capabilities quickly, but this situation challenged every assumption she had made about space warfare. "Communications, patch me through to the Zephyrian fleet, Commander." Martinez ordered. It's time to introduce ourselves properly. The response came from Admiral Vissis, but his voice carried a tone of barely controlled panic. Commander Martinez, we are grateful for your arrival, but I fear you have come too late. The harvesters have been consuming our outer moons for the past week. They are building something, ... enormous. Dr. Chen, monitoring the communications from her station, realized the Zephyrians were experiencing culture shock. They had spent centuries as a peaceful species, and the concept of interstellar warfare was as foreign to them as their technology was to humans. Admiral Vissis, Dr. Chen interjected, we need to arrange a meeting. Our species have different approaches to conflict, and we need to coordinate our strategies. The meeting took place aboard the Zephyrian flagship, an elegant vessel that looked more like a work of art than a military ship. Commander Martinez, accompanied by Dr. Chen and her senior staff, was transported via Zephyrian matter transmission technology. Admiral Vissis was tall and graceful, with pale blue skin and large, expressive eyes that seemed to hold the weight of his species' survival. His people had evolved on a world with lower gravity and higher atmospheric pressure, giving them an ethereal appearance that contrasted sharply with the humans' more compact, muscular builds. Commander Martinez, Admiral Visors began, we have 37 ships in our fleet, but they were designed for exploration and scientific research. We have no weapons, no military experience, and no knowledge of warfare tactics. Commander Martinez studied the holographic display showing both fleets. The human ships looked brutal and efficient next to the Zephyrian vessels, but they were outnumbered nearly 2-to-1 by the harvester ships. Admiral Vissis, what can you tell us about harvester weaknesses? Every enemy has vulnerabilities, even machines. Admiral Vissis activated a holographic recording of a recent harvester attack on a Zephyrian colony. The humans watched in horror as the machine ships systematically dismantled an entire world, converting matter into energy and using that energy to construct more ships. They are ancient, Admiral Vissis explained. Our archaeologists believe they have been operating for millions of years. They have consumed thousands of worlds, perhaps tens of thousands. Each victory makes them stronger. Dr. Chen studied the recordings carefully. Admiral, do the harvesters communicate with each other? Do they show any signs of individual decision-making? They appear to function as a collective intelligence, Admiral Vissis replied. We have detected no individual communications, only coordinated behavior patterns. Commander Martinez had been analyzing the tactical data while they spoke. Admiral, show me their attack patterns. How do they typically engage defending forces? What Admiral Vissis showed them was disturbing. The harvesters didn't engage in traditional space combat. Instead, they surrounded their targets and used massive energy weapons to disable ships before converting them into raw materials. They had never encountered an enemy that fought back effectively. They've never faced humans, Commander Martinez said grimly. Admiral Vissis, we need to discuss something your people might find difficult to accept. The way we fight, it's not clean, it's not honorable by your standards, and it's going to involve destroying things you might prefer to preserve. Admiral Tice's expression was solemn. Commander Martinez, we have tried every peaceful solution. We have tried to negotiate, to flee, to hide. Nothing has worked. We give you complete authority to engage the harvesters using whatever methods you deem necessary. The combined fleet moved towards Zephyr Prime over the next 18 hours. During the approach, human engineers worked frantically to install modified weapons systems on Zephyrian ships. The aliens' advanced energy manipulation technology could be adapted for military use, but it required human expertise in weapons design. Dr. Chen spent those hours interviewing Zephyrian refugees who had escaped from conquered worlds. Their testimonies provided crucial intelligence about harvester capabilities and behavior patterns. They learn, one refugee explained through the translation system. Each world they consume teaches them about the species that lived there. They adapt their tactics based on what they discover. This revelation changed everything. The harvesters weren't just mindless machines, they were adaptive intelligences that improved their capabilities with each conquest. Humanity's advantage lay in being completely unknown to them. The battle began when the fleet was still 6 hours away from Zephyr Prime. Long-range sensors detected harvester ships moving to intercept them, their formations perfect and their approach inevitable. All ships, battle stations, Commander Martinez announced across the fleet communications. Remember, we're not just fighting for the Zephyrians. If these things get past us, they'll eventually find Earth. The first exchange, a fire revealed the true nature of the conflict. Harvester weapons were energy-based, designed to disable rather than destroy. They had never encountered an enemy that preferred kinetic weapons and explosive ordnance. The EFS, Defiant's first salvo, caught the harvesters completely off guard. Nuclear-tipped missiles struck their lead ships, causing massive explosions that disrupted their perfect formations. The machines had expected energy weapons that could be absorbed and converted. They had no defense against crude, but effective human explosives. Target their coordination nodes. Commander Martinez ordered. Break their formations and force them to fight as individuals. The battle raged across the system for 14 hours. Human ships used tactics the harvesters had never encountered. Ramming attacks, coordinated missile strikes, and strategic retreats that drew enemy forces into crossfires. The Zephyrian ships, equipped with hastily modified weapons, provided crucial support. Their energy manipulation technology proved effective at disrupting harvester systems, while their faster-than-light capabilities allowed them to strike and retreat before the enemy could respond. Dr. Chen made a crucial discovery during the battle. The harvesters were transmitting data about human tactics back to their collective intelligence. They were learning how to fight humans even as the battle continued. "Commander, we need to end this quickly," Dr. Chen reported. "They're adapting to our tactics. Every engagement teaches them more about human warfare." Commander Martinez realized they had one advantage: the harvesters couldn't adapt to human unpredictability. The machines expected logical, efficient tactics. They weren't prepared for the chaos and desperation of human combat. All ships, Operation Broken Arrow, Commander Martinez announced. It was a last resort tactic that involved ramming damaged ships into harvester formations while simultaneously detonating their fusion reactors. The sacrifice of 3 human ships created a gap in the harvester lines. The remaining fleet pushed through, targeting the massive construction around Zephyr Prime. If they could prevent the harvesters from completing their planetary harvesting sphere, they might save the world. The final phase of the battle took place. In orbit around Zephyr Prime, human ships engaged. Harvester forces in brutal close quarters combat while Zephyrian vessels used their advanced technology to disrupt the harvesting apparatus. Commander Martinez made the decision that would define the battle's outcome. The EFS Defiant, heavily damaged but still functional, began a kamikaze run toward the central harvester command ship. The massive vessel was coordinating the entire harvesting operation. "This is Commander Martinez to all ships," she announced. "It's been an honor serving with you. Give them hell." The collision between the EFS Defiant and the Harvester command ship created an explosion visible from the planet's surface. The destruction of the command vessel disrupted the entire Harvester fleet, causing their perfect coordination to collapse. Without their collective intelligence, the individual Harvester ships became vulnerable. The remaining human and Zephyrian forces pressed their advantage, systematically destroying the confused machine ships. When the battle ended, nearly half the human fleet was destroyed or severely damaged. The Zephyrian losses were lighter, but their home world bore the scars of the Harvester assault. However, for the first time in galactic history, the Harvesters had been defeated. Admiral Thesis stood with Dr. Chen on the bridge of the surviving Zephyrian flagship, watching the debris field that had once been the Harvester fleet. "Dr. Chen," Admiral Thesis said quietly, "your species has saved not just our world, but possibly thousands of others. The Harvesters have been stopped, but at such a cost." Dr. Chen nodded, thinking of Commander Martinez and the other humans who had died. "In the battle, Admiral, this is just the beginning. The Harvesters exist in other parts of the galaxy. If we're going to stop them permanently, we need to work together." The aftermath of the battle led to the formation of the first interstellar alliance in galactic history. The Zephyrians shared their advanced technology, while humanity provided military expertise and strategic thinking. Together, they began planning campaigns to hunt down and destroy the remaining Harvester fleets. The message sent back to Earth was simple but profound. First contact successful. Alliance established. The galaxy is no longer a place where peaceful species face extinction alone. Humanity has found its place among the stars. The battle for Zepho Prime became the first chapter in humanity's expansion across the galaxy. No longer would advanced civilizations face the choice between pacifism and extinction. Earth's warriors had shown that sometimes the greatest act of peace was the willingness to fight for those who could not fight for themselves. The stars had called for warriors, and humanity had answered. The galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk.